All right. Hey, what's up, you guys? Man, it's your boy Rashawn, and I'm back. Back again. Okay, so for this video, what I'm going to be doing is adding a little structure to my videos beyond what I've done before. Like, I'm just completely reimagining the channel, right? Um, the more I know, the more I realize that I'm glad that I didn't blow up on YouTube at the time that I did, or just social media in general. I'm glad that I'm able to reverse a lot of the things that I've done before in the past, even though these things weren't necessarily illegal or anything like that, but they were controversial. And it could have caused me a lot of problems that could have messed me up in a way that I could not have foreseen at the time, even though it was my opinion. I have to realize that while we have rights and freedoms in this country, you still have to fight and earn those rights and freedoms, even though they're supposedly given to you. You're born with it on paper, but you have to learn how to properly exercise and protect those rights yourself. So one of those things is rights to free speech. Like I hinted on a little bit in the last video about how I had to take down a lot of my old videos because I didn't want to potentially say something, 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 years ago, um, in regards to what I was thinking about a particular topic, place, or thing, and then somewhere down the line, when I'm getting ready to make a deal or I'm getting ready to apply for a high level job or whatever, right? You know, I wouldn't want my employer, because employers do that nowadays. They go back and they get all up in your business, especially if they're um, intending for you to actually be hired. If they're actually looking at you as a serious candidate to be hired, they're going to go out there and they're going to look online, see what your online presence is, see how you carry yourself in public, what you think and feel and stuff like that. And a lot of people want to put their stuff up on the internet these days, including myself. And you have to be careful what you put out here because they'll hear that, and then you would never know that that was the reason why you never got the job. In the first place, you never know. They would hit you with something like, "Oh yeah, man, we'll reach back out to you," or whatever. Whatever the case is. Then they never reach back out to you as. You never hear from them, or they'll say, "Well, we're looking at some applications. We'll get back to you if we're interested." They'll filibuster. They'll get you with the filibuster, and you just never hear these folks, and you don't know that they already made their whole decision. Already. And if you're goofy and you are green, you'll sit up there and be waiting for. Damn, I wonder why they ain't call me back. He said he was gonna call me at 5. It's 8 o'clock. They ain't call me back. Maybe it'll be get to me tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, and then dang, maybe they'll call me the day after, and then the day after comes, and you never get a call until you eventually wake up and realize that what, I don't think bruh is calling me back. And yeah, of course. So that's that. So that's a part of the reason why I'm starting this channel over fresh. It's because I'm signing up for marketing automation, and I'm trying to be a marketing automation specialist. Just for work. Because I hear that that's a $60,000 to $70,000 a year job, and I need that money in order to fund all this other stuff that it is that I'm doing. Because I can't do that based off of the pay of what I'm getting now. Like right now, I'm a goddamn dishwasher. I mean, I'm a well-paid dishwasher because of all the stuff I do. Back there at the Albert or whatever, and that's the name of the restaurant, the Albert, and I wash dishes, I do the grounds, keep stuff back there. I sweep the parking lot, clean the building, fix stuff around the building, all type of stuff around the building. I do a lot around there, which is why I get paid a lot. for what it is that I'm doing. But when it comes down to the other stuff that I'm trying to do, it's not enough to both maintain and do that. And honestly, it's not really enough to really maintain, and I'm not doing anything fancy, So, but for what it is that I'm doing, which is washing dishes, which is something anybody can do, but they might not be able to do it to, the same level or the same degree, but it's not that much of a barrier entry. You just have to not be lazy or have a good work ethic and show up and be on time and do what these people tell you to do, you know, at that particular time. But where good thing for me is I'm in Atlanta, and one thing about Atlanta that I realize is a lot of people around here they have a lack of discipline and they have a lack of work ethic, which is a blessing and a curse because on one end it makes competition really easy for me. These guys I come run circle around these guys, I get the job, whereas they won't get the job. But on the other hand, because of my mentality, I don't mesh with the environment, the people that I'm around, because these are the people, they're like super left wing, to where the government is corrupt and the rich are hoarding all the wealth and we don't have enough money to survive, which is true. That part is actually honestly true. I 100% agree with that. Uh, However, for what it is that you're doing, you're getting paid a lot of money. Like you're here flipping burgers or you're here moving this from here to there and you're getting paid a lot of damn money for that. So if you want more money, why not just get a better job and go to school and work towards a better job, and then that way you free up a spot for somebody who needs to get into, a better job for themselves. They could get your old job and you got this new job and now you're in a new position, but they want to stay kind of sort of where they are and still continuously get more money. And that's where the problem comes in at. It's like, dude, I don't get it. Like, I, I get paid a lot for what it is that I'm doing, but overall, it's not a lot of money. But for what it is that I'm doing, that's the key word. I'm getting paid a lot. And if I want to do something else that brings even more money, I just need to qualify for that next thing, which is what I'm doing because uh, a little bit of my background um, is I actually used to be what's it called, management in fast food. So I would say my highest degree of experience officially, like on the job market, would be like general manager of Wingstop, and then I was assistant manager of Wingstop, of course, and I was assistant manager at Captain D's and assistant manager at Little Caesars, and yeah, and everywhere else I was a crew mover. You bounce from fast food to fast food place. I've never worked at McDonald's. I've never. Yeah, that's about the only one I ain't work at. I worked at Taco Bell. I worked at Checkers. I never worked at Wendy's. I've worked at churches before. I worked at a lot of those places, man. Just because it's the barrier to entry is so low and it's such a revolving door that they want people. People come and go easy. You go in there, you work long enough, you get your couple of checks, and you just keep working until you get fired or you quit. And then you go somewhere else. And then once your old job cool off and they ain't mad at you no more, you go back and you bounce back and you go back in there and you grind it out again until you quit or get fired. And if it's too bad, then you just don't go to that one no more because they're all franchised, they're all owned by foreigners, especially like, if it's a franchise, chances are it's owned by some Indian, and that's your boss, or whatever. So it's not even really the corporate one. Thank goodness Captain D's was corporate, at least to my knowledge. The one that I was working at was corporate. But overall, I realized that I've been honestly, in a way, just trying to survive, man, because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff like homelessness. Back then, like when I was 16, like I'm 28 now, so obviously I'm not dealing with this stuff today. But like back then, I was dealing with homelessness at 16. I dropped out of school because I was homeless to go deal with the homeless and stuff. Because I was like, dude, I'm not about to sit up here deal with school. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a dummy. You know what I'm saying? I know what they talking about. They ain't really teaching me nothing that's gonna really help me in life anyway. You know what I'm saying? On high school level, because they tell you, oh, what's y equals mx plus b. What the hell? I'm not gonna deal with that in life, man. Or so I thought at the time. And you got to realize the stuff that they're telling you is just giving you the baseline for what you might run into in college. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, ultimately, it's not about what it is that they're telling you. It's the fact that they're telling you to do it, man. And all school is doing is just preparing you for compliance. It's preparing you for work. You know, if you do good in school, you'll do good at a job. Because if they tell you, because that means you're following instructions, you're able to retain the stuff that they tell you, and you're able to do it how they showed you to do it, and you're able to say it back to them the way that they taught you, and you're not breaking any kind of what's it called? You're not breaking the rules, man. So therefore, if you do good enough, okay, great. You did good in high school. We're going to send you off to college, and then you go to college, and then it's going to be more of the same thing. But this time, we're going to teach you something actually useful for what it is you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So you pick, and then you pay us back later. And that's what they're trying to do. But I've never had that college experience. But it took me some time to really learn that, hey man, yeah, I was right about that stuff being stupid. Yeah, it made sense at the time to drop out of school and deal with homelessness and stuff like that. But think about what would have been better if I just would have struggled through the homelessness and I would have got my high school diploma and accepted the, you know, the entrance into college. Because I actually got an offer to go to college. It was what was the place? Boy, it was one of them. Oakland, no, not Oakland City. It was something. One of them colleges, man. I forgot. It was one of them colleges. I have to go back and think about what college it was. Shoot, 'cause I'm sure I could find it off the top of my head. But um, ultimately, I've been out doing all these different things between trying to survive out here in these streets and trying to do right in the shelters and stuff because I ended up going to youth shelters. But I ain't gonna give my whole life story. But I'm just trying to really just help you guys understand where I come from and where I am now and why I'm trying to move the way that I'm trying to move now. You know, and that's simply because I've gotten more mature and I've gotten more information and I see things for what it is. I'm not going to sit up here and cope and continuously make excuses and do stuff, like a lot of people do, to where honestly, if at the end of the day, whatever it is you believe, if it comes down to inaction or you can't do nothing about it, I personally think that you need to change that belief, but that's up to, you. But for me, I'm not going to sit around and say, well, I can't do anything because of X, Y, Z. You have some stuff around here, which is true. I know this is getting on the more controversial side, but this is true. So I can say this because this is true. It is not really much controversy. But like for example, the Hebrew Israelites, they say this, that, and the third about God and this and that, and it's religion or whatever, right? You know, forbidden area, but that's their belief. And at the end of the day, they tell you what their belief is. You're not supposed to eat this, and you're supposed to do that, and the man this, and the woman that, and this, that, and the third, right? Okay, so it does all this. If you know, I'm just skipping through it, and then I say, okay, so all right, so now that you done pointed out all these problems in the world and everything that's messed up, what's going on? So what are you guys going to do about it? Well, how are you going to solve the problem? And at the end of the day, after a bunch of filibuster, they come to the point to where they end up saying, "Well, no, all you got to do is wait, because when God come back, He's going to do X, Y." So actually, wait on somebody else to fix the problem instead of them fixing the problem. So obviously, I don't believe that. And let's go out of the religion area and go to a more uh, earthly belief that a lot of people have. A lot of the, again, I'm in Atlanta, so a lot of the people are liberal and they're left wing, and we have the nightlife hippie culture and stuff like that, which ain't nothing wrong with that. To each his own. Depending on what your life goals are. You have some people, like I told you, oh man, the rich are hoarding up all the wealth. You know, everybody's greedy. They don't want to pay us what we want, and they're charging us so much money. And it's like, well, hey, man, why don't you actually come out here and you actually do what that ancient Chinese secret said? Up there at Panda Express. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Why don't you get up here and you make something the right way? So people don't have to be stuck. Shopping with this guy because he's the only guy offering this service. So he's effectively a monopoly, and we all have to buy from them because there's no alternatives, or they got the market on lock or whatever it is. Oh no, I'd rather just not do that. And this is dumb. Oh no, I'd rather just not do that. That's a lot of work trying to get up there, get the money up, and start your own business and do all that. I'd rather just go and actually start a movement and try to get people to vote and do all this, and then they could just, basically, essentially, put the rules in place to make it to where those people can't succeed. Instead of creating an alternative, product to where if people had a better alternative, they would come and shop with you, and you solve multiple problems. So basically, in a way, and then I say, well, all right, tell you what if you don't want to be a business owner? I understand you don't want to be a business owner. Okay, so what about all the people that's riding around in Atlanta in Porsches and Teslas, and they got families and they got these good careers, and they come in here and they spend $200-300 in one sitting at the bar or at the, whatever, right? How do you, why, even though, you have your belief in the things about the rich and hoarding all the wealth and the government's greedy and, all this, right? Yeah, you guys know the type. If you guys know the type of person that I'm talking about. He basically says, well, you can't really buy into houses nowadays. And I'm like, well, there's people buying houses all the time. Like, yeah, the prices of the houses are up, but there's people still able to buy them, and they're charging that price because people can afford to buy it. So you need to figure out how these people afford to buy it. Well, I know what it is. The companies are buying up all the properties and then they're renting it out to people. And I'm like, well, why don't you go buy some property or buy some land or go to the government and take a loan out? Use the first time home buyer. So basically, you know, oh no, I'm not. I can't do that because the rich people, they got all the land bought up. All the land is bought up, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way that all the land is bought up because I just seen a few for sale signs on the way here to the job. That's for sale signs everywhere. You saying they bought up all the land? Yeah, sure, they're buying up a lot of the land, but they're not buying all the land. There's stuff that goes up for sale all the time. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the guy had every excuse for why something wasn't going to work, to the point to where it just made it to where his belief made him comfortable with being inactive or solving problems. So it's better to cry about the problem with other people who are also crying about the problem, but no one's going to do anything to solve the problem. So I gave you a religious example with the Hebrew Israelites, and I gave you a another example. Well, even though the Hebrew Israelites claim that it's not a religious example, I mean, they're not a religion. Sorry, I have to fix that. They say they're not a religion, which is weird because they have the Bible, which is a religious scripture or book, and they talk about God and Jesus, which are religious characters. and they talk about the laws of God and how are you supposed to live your life based off of God. And they read from the scripture and they read from the stuff and they use the tool, the religious tools, and then they claim to not be a religion, which is weird to me, but I'm not going to make any claims. This is what they said, okay? So I'm not making no claims. It ain't no shot to nobody. It's just an example of a bigger point. So they say they're not a religion, but I gave you an example on that. And then I gave you another example that's more like political and less, more on the spiritual side of things. And that's more like how the people viewing on that. Not to say that right wing people are right or anything like that. I'm not a right winger by any means because they're messed up too. It's just that the area that I'm in is, just full of, the people that think this way. So I'm talking about the people that think this way in the example. And I'm trying to get you to understand, again, why I'm moving the way that I'm moving. So I don't believe in inaction. Like there's no point in living if you're just going to wait for someone else to solve problems. So, which is why I want to make my own content on YouTube, and I want to make my own products and my own businesses and move my own stuff. Now, that's very ambitious. It takes a person their entire life to just do just one of those things. So understand what it is that I've been partaking in and what it is that I'm taking on. But I've found some success on a few projects to where things are pretty much luxury grade. Like again, like I told you guys, the perfume, man. Perfume. I got fragrances. Like I got these jars. Hold on. Where my spray jars at? Oh. I mean, well, alright. I ain't got the. Okay, I don't know what happened to my spray bottle. I'm gonna have to go grab them. I'm gonna have to go grab my spray bottles. So this right here is one of the things. It's called Honest Baccarat. You know, that's my business number right there. If you're in Atlanta or something like that, or Decatur area, call me and I can give you a sample for free on the Baccarat just to show you. Even though this isn't real Baccarat by like Francis Mason, but it smells just like it. And I got it whipped. I got it sitting. I've already mixed it up. It's been sitting here for a few days. I'm just letting the alcohol absorb all of the fragrance so it can be smoother. You got to let your stuff macerate, right? And I don't know if I should teach you guys how to do perfumery or not. I might do perfumery courses. I might show you guys how to sell it. I might do door to door stuff. Like these are different things. Like the tags is fading, but that is ylang ylang. This is ylang ylang. You know, that's the fragrance. Like I took the oil or the absolute or whatever, and depending on what it is, I have to show you all that stuff later. This is vetiver. The label's faded, but you probably can't see it. But yeah, because it's been sitting up there a while. But I've been letting all these ingredients macerate and stuff like that. I'll show you guys how to bottle it up, how to get stuff right. I'll show you my techniques, and the things that I've gone through trial and error. But if you guys want a bottle of perfume, man, I'll definitely sell you some bottle of perfumes, man. For sure. I got a website coming. As a matter of fact, what is this? Oh no, this is a different type of spray bottle. This is what I put my female fragrances in. This I ain't gonna. Okay, I ain't gonna hold that. All right, I gotta put that down. All right, but I don't got my stuff with me right now. I got to figure out where I put it. But so that's enough on the ad tip. But I do a lot of different stuff, man. I sell all types of stuff: products, earbuds, speakers. Um, phone holders. I got a lot of stuff, man. But you guys are gonna see it on the camera, on the camera and YouTube. I'm gonna be putting. I'm gonna be putting content up. It's gonna be shorts and videos and advertisements. I'm working with AI. I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing. Like I did the AI music for my storyline that I'm trying to write. there's a lot of things that I'm doing, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just focus back in. I don't expect any of this stuff to happen quickly because you know good money don't ever come fast. Nothing good comes fast. It's always slow and it's consistent. Fast money ain't really good money. You trying to get a whole bunch of money fast, it usually comes with a lot of strings attached, and you're not gonna want to pay that. So I think I've been talking enough for this. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and do some. I'm gonna put up another video. Actually, I'm gonna put up another video of a song that I made. So I'm gonna definitely put that up, and I'm gonna play it, and hopefully you guys like that, and hopefully this video has been useful to you, man. Because out of everything that I've went through and I've gone through, I'm still building myself, from the bottom up, and I'm out here to where I have to move differently, man, because I don't want to get sued and I don't want to have the rug pulled off from underneath me, and I don't want to deal with a lot of liability or controversy or things that might get me in trouble. So again, it's no shot to anybody. I don't have no issues with nobody, and this is how I have to come, because yeah, because I just don't want to get in trouble, man. It's just not worth it, man. I'm just trying to get out here and make the change that I want to see in the world, and the ancient Chinese secret. And honestly, I'll throw the music video at the end of this video. To be honest, I think I might throw it in here. Yeah, it wouldn't even help. Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. I'll throw the music video that I made uh, right at the end of this. And again, it's made with AI. I know I don't have a singer's voice, but this is one of those amazing AI songs that it's actually fire, bro. Like I don't know what these guys out here in the music industry. I don't know what you guys are gonna do. To be honest, like I mean, AI is coming along and it's just killing people, bro. It's killing them. I mean, not literally like murder, but it's killing people to where if you're not exceptional in your skills, you know you're not gonna what's it called? You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Uh, all right, I'm getting tired, bro. So I think I hit all my talking points. I think so. So ultimately, I may not be starting from the strongest starting position, but I can keep stacking skills, knowledge, experience, and assets until my position changes. So that's what I'm ultimately doing. Okay. So I appreciate you guys for listening. If you stayed to the end, I got a little special, little sweet treat for you. Check it out.
of us all.